Hi, this is Gary Jordan for Natural Law for North America. And tonight, this video, I want to discuss um, one of the filters that we've been using in um, our law system that we've been currently dealing with, the common law, Roman law, the corporate law, whatever you want to call the blasted thing. Um, and that is magic numbers. Believe it or not, magic numbers aren't limited to astrology and the magicians at the carnival. Um, Magic numbers actually are a prevalent part of our society, and we don't think about it. Some of our magic numbers uh, replace older traditions, older customs, without giving it any real meaning. Some of them are totally brand new. And I'll share a couple of my favorite magic numbers that we use and give you an idea of what I'm talking about and how ludicrous they are. They are alien to natural law, because natural law is a process. It is an ever-changing, your everyday experiences. You don't say, unless you're obsessed with time, you don't go, oh, it's 3 o'clock, 3:02, 34 seconds or whatever. You don't usually go quite there. And that's because it's an alien. The numbers are fun. They're useful tools for organizing things, for counting, such as what we teach small children. Um, but there is a limit to their usefulness. And so a couple examples I'll give. One, I don't know of any equivalent in any society, and that is um, the magic number we call senior citizenship. 60 to 65, depending upon what program. The government permission slip. Um, and that I'm I've never heard. I've heard of eldership, but I've never heard of a rite of passage to become an elder. Um, and most of the older cultures, shamanic cultures, hunter-gatherers, even early horticulture and early agricultural societies had rites of passage. Usually that was birth, which was in and of itself a rite of passage, even for us moderns. There was the transition from single life to a married life with the responsibilities, and there was usually a ceremony to celebrate this transition. Its initiation into that role, into that lifestyle. Um, the other one that's very common is adulthood. And that's a complete total subject unto itself. So I will kind of skip that one for a moment because it gets me onto another topic that's related and kind of important to us. The other two examples are from our medical. Um, One is from my own experience of being legally blind, um, and we have a magic number for that, 2200, and those numbers mean at a physical distance of 20 feet. Say this line is 20 feet. Anyway, at the physical distance of 20 feet, I, the blind person, stand. You, the sighted person, have to go 200 feet back to see the objects that I see here at the same distance. But you get the idea. It's really funny. That object, you have to walk 200 feet back to see what it is. Now, here's where the magic number comes in. At 2190, most of the sophisticated forms of eye charts go in tens, the low vision centers and stuff like that. They use those kind of charts. And as I remember correctly, the smallest is 10 feet increments. So you would have 2190, and then suddenly the world is supposed to be different 10 feet away. 2200. Magically, you are blind. And yet that covers everything from that 200 feet all the way to zip, which is in and of itself a hoot, plus frustrating. That's a magic number. Another one is mental retardation. Intellectual disability is, I believe, is a politically correct term now. Um, Intellectually impaired. Difficult retarded is such a meanly used word, even if it is common and understood. Um, and the magic cutoff number, I believe, is 60. Now, just for the sake of argument, let's put aside the whole question of the IQ test. Whether they're even what it is they're measuring, if it's worth even talking about, that's what our society uses these IQ tests, regardless of their usefulness or validity. And so at 26, sorry, I'm back to division again. So at 61, we'll say 60 is the cutoff. I can't remember what the number is. We'll say 60. 60 is the cutoff here. So at 61, you're normal. But that number goes to 60, you're retarded. Does anybody besides me have a problem with this kind of concept? And that brings me back to the adulthood. We have a magic number called 18. At 20, I should say at 11:59 p.m. on the day before your 18th birthday, you're supposed to be a child. Then magically, when the number changes to 12:00, in my case, I was born on February 20th, so we'll say February 19th, 11:59 minutes and 59 seconds. I'm a child. Magically, when that 59 second turns to 0 and it becomes 12:00:00, I'm an adult. On the 20th. Figure that one. The day that happened, the day that I was supposed to be turning into an adult, I was expecting to feel different. Don't ask me why. Read too much stuff already with that point, comparative religion, comparative mythology, I think. And I actually expected there to be a difference. There wasn't. And it really boggles my mind. So what is adulthood? Obviously, it's not a piece of paper. It's not a permission slip saying from the government and from the corporation saying, I, the power, give you, you are now an adult. You have all these rights and privileges and quote-unquote responsibilities, but it doesn't work that way. So what makes an adult? I think it's biology. And the reason I say that is I remember in the late 90s, early 2000, when me and my mom first got cable TV, and we were watching Fox News. We were looking around for the different channels, and we didn't care for the soap operas or any of the other gobbledygook. And we watched the news thinking that was as good as we were going to get. Besides the cartoon channel. And Fox News was talking about when children have children, the right-wing stuff that they're good at. And it's like, hold it, children can't have children. I grew up on National Geographic, Jane Goodall specials, Mutual of Omaha, The Wild Kingdom, Under the World of Jacques Cousteau, and even the Disney for the longest time. They had all these little reel-to-reel movies that they had in the schools showing biology, showing the animals and the life cycles and all that. And I've yet to hear of a single one where the child of that species was having a child, because it doesn't work that way. Once you become biologically capable of bearing a child, making a baby, you're an adult. That doesn't mean you're a competent adult. It doesn't mean you're an experienced adult. It doesn't mean that any behavior done by others, enforced bribery, blackmail, or any of that stuff, like the pedophile stuff, changes that. But it does change whether it's pedophilia or whether it is just simply poor, sexual misconduct and trafficking. And that doesn't change how mean it is. The British government, the priests and bishops, the U.S. government, and all those that are involved with young adults with sexual misconduct. It doesn't change the sexual misconduct. It doesn't change the fact that others use that and the label of the permission slip of underage to blackmail and enforce behaviors that they want by making, oh, we're going to say you had an underage with 16. 16 okay, that woman, 16, can make a baby, easy. They can make a baby at 12. I'm sorry. It doesn't make they're experienced adults. It doesn't mean that they have developed other aspects of themselves, but any other creature on this planet would be considered an adult. A young adult and an experienced adult. But an adult nonetheless. So we have to ask ourselves, what makes an adult? And for that matter, what gives us the right to tell an adult, or even children, to command them? And that's where the rite of passage, when most of the cultures that have the rites of passage from being a child to an adult, there was usually a ritual flogging, male and female. In all cases, boys would be sent off to have a vision to find out what their gift from the Creator, what their gift for their community was. And more often than not, the girl did something similar, either out in the wilderness, which they were fully capable of handling, or in the women's lodges or something something special set aside for that purpose. A space where they were left alone to fast, meditate, and to do a vision quest. And it was to bring back a power from the Creator for what their gifts were going to be as an adult for their community. We have that. Driving a car doesn't count. That DMV printout that says you're a mature, responsible adult, that's bullcrap. That's not the same thing. That's not a vision. That doesn't show what your power is for people, for the community. Anyway, once you had your vision, you came back, you talked to your medicine man or your family about what you saw, what you experienced, and they helped you interpret it. They didn't think for you, but they did help you interpret it and help you to figure out what to make of it. Then there would be a ritual, often with flogging, because children were never touched. Unlike our society where we spank and where we hit and where we yell, we're mean, we're abusive, you did not treat a child like that at all. So the ritual flogging was to say, guess what? You're an adult now. We're going to have to put you through some of this, because this is to symbolize to you that you're no longer a child. You will have to endure it just like we do. For better or worse, you're now an adult. Welcome to being an adult. And it was like willow sticks or something, something not to really hurt them, but more symbolic than anything. It was very symbol oriented in most of our primitive societies. Very, very, very symbolic, initiatory. We have no equivalent. I'm sorry, a driver's license. Driver's test did not count. It doesn't make you a man, and that's just my pet peeve, and I can go there for days. But anyway, I wanted to show that's my concern, because the pedophilia, I think in terms of a small child. I don't think of a young person that's capable of making a child. That still does not, as I said, that still doesn't change misuse of power, violence, coercion, fear, any of these things that these people are still doing, regardless of the label of child or an adult. It still is not nice. They're still using fear to intimidate people and to confuse them. Because sexual repression, apparently that's been part of the Christian power control thing for a while. I hate to say it. It's really sad, but it seems to have gone on for a long, long time. Also, my other gripe is statutory rape. What's statutory? The government permission slip? I mean, I have literally seen severely retarded autistic adults, women, pull down an autistic retarded male wanting to get laid. Sorry, I can't buy into the statutory thing. Again, and that brings me to the treatment of individuals. Forcing repression on them is just as abusive and cruel as forcing a relationship or raping them. As far as I'm concerned, it's just as cruel. It's a different kind of cruelty, but it's still cruel. So anyway, that's the magic numbers, and that's one of the big ones because in our magic numbers we tend to forget all the subtleties, all the processes, all the nuances of what life is like, what really life is. Life is not a magic number of 2190 you're sighted and acceptable, and 2200 you're blind and you're supposed to be treated a certain way. Sorry, 10 feet don't make a difference. You know, 1 second for a senior citizen or a child to an adult doesn't make it either. And so that's something that we have to start thinking about, how we handle our obsession with numbers. And I'm sure you all can think of your own magic numbers, own experiences with it. But think about it. Do we really need all these magic numbers? Do they serve us? And if not, what do you do about getting rid of these stupid things? Anyway, have yourself a great day, and bye for now.